Hey, what's up? You guys seem to appreciate the audio version of your Csec stories. So I've added Mom Luby and the Social Worker. I intend to do many more and eventually cover all of the stories on the syllabus. So stay tuned and keep watching. Puddin and I been living with Mom Luby 3 years, ever since our mother died. We like it fine. When Mom Luby took us to the welfare, we thought our happy days were over and our troubles about to begin. Children, she said that day, I got to get some of this state aid so I can give you everything you need. Shoes for you, Elijah, and dresses for Puddin. Now she's starting school. And lunch money and car fare and stuff like that. But the only way I can get it is to say I'm your mother. So don't mess up my lie. Mom Luby is as old as Santa Claus, maybe older, with hair white like cotton and false teeth that hurt so much she takes them out and gums her food. But she's strong as a young woman and twice as proud. Much too proud to say she's our grandmother, which is something the welfare people might believe. So we went down there, scared that morning, Pudding holding tight onto both our hands. But we was lucky. The lady behind the desk didn't even look at us, and we got out of that gloomy old state building safe and free. Man, was I glad to get back to Division Street where people don't ask questions about your business. When we got home, a whole bunch of people was waiting for Mum to let them in the speakeasy she runs in the back room. Jake was there, and Sissy May, and Bobo and Walter, and Lucas and Moose and Zerline. They are regular customers who come every evening to drink the corn liquor Mom gets from down south and eat the food she fixes gumbo and chicken wings and ribs and potato salad and greens. Bobo picked Puddin' up to see how much she weighed. A lot. Until she hollered to be let down. Jake gave me a quarter to take his shoes down to Gumby's fantastic shoe shine parlor and get them shined and keep the change. We let the people in the front door and through the red curtain that divides the front room from the back. Soon they were settled around the big old round table with a half-gallon jar of corn. Then Sissy May and Lucas wanted chicken wings, and I had to collect the money while Mom heated them up on the stove. There was so much to do, I didn't pay no attention to the tapping on the front door. But then it came again, louder, like a woodpecker working on a tree. Elijah, Mom says, run see who it is trying to chip a hole in that door. If it be the police, tell them I'll see them Saturday. But it wasn't the cops, who came around every Saturday night to get their money and drink some of Mom's corn and put their big black shoes up on the table. It was a little brown skinned lady with straightened hair and glasses and black high top shoes. She carried a big leather envelope and was dressed all in dark blue. Good afternoon, she says. I am Miss Rushmore of the Department of Child Welfare, Bureau of Family Assistance. Is Mrs. Luby at home? I am she, says Mum. Never been nobody else. Come in, honey, and set yourself down. Take off them shoes. They do look like real corn crushers to me. No, thank you, says Miss Rushmore. She sits on the edge of one of Mom's chairs and starts pulling papers out of the envelope. This must be Elijah. Yes, ma'am, I say. And where is Alethea? Taking her nap, says Mom, with a swat of the broom at the middle of the curtain, which Puddin was peeking through. She's 5 and fat, and she loves to hang around grown-ups, especially when they're eating. Mom hit the curtain with the broom again, and Puddin ran off. The lady didn't even notice. She was too busy peeking under the lids of the pots on the stove. Salt pork and lima beans, she says. Hardly a proper diet for growing children. Well, says Mom, when I get me some of this state aid, maybe I can afford to get them canned vegetables and boxed cereal. Meanwhile, you welcome to what we have. The lady acted like she didn't hear that. She just wrinkled up her nose like she smelled something bad. First, she says, we must have a little talk about your budget. Do you understand the importance of financial planning? Man arranges and God changes, says Mom. When I got it, I spend it. When I don't, I do without. That, says the lady, is precisely the attitude I am here to correct. She pulls out a big yellow sheet of paper. Now, this is our family budget worksheet. What is your rent? I ain't paid it in so long I forgot, says Mom, which set me in a fit because everybody but this dumb lady knows Mom owns the house. Behind her back, Mom gave me a whack that stopped my giggles. The lady sighed. We'll get back to the budget later, she says. First, there are some questions you left blank today. How old were you when Elijah was born? 32, says Mom. And he is now 13, which would make you 45, says the lady. 38, says Mom, without batting an eye. I'll put down 45, says the lady, giving Mom a funny look. No doubt your hard life has aged you beyond your years. Now, who is the father and where is he? Let me see, says Mom, twisting a piece of her hair. I ain't seen Mr. Luby since 1942. He was a railroad man, you see, and one time he just took a train out of here and never rode back. 1942, Miss Rushmore wrote on the paper, and then said, but that's impossible. The dear Lord do teach us, says Mom, that nothing in life is impossible if we just believe enough. Hey, Mom, we're out of corn, cried Lucas from the back room. Miss Rushmore looked very upset. Why, she says, you've got a man in there. Sure do sound like it, don't it? Says Mom. Sure do. You got one too, honey? That's my business, says the lady. I was just trying to be sociable, says Mom pleasantly. You sure do seem interested in mine. I ran back there and fetched another mason jar of corn from the shed kitchen. I told Lucas and Bobo and them to be quiet, which wasn't going to be easy, 'cause them folks get good and loud when they get in a card game. I also dragged Puddin away from the potato salad bowl, where she had stuck both her hands, and brought her in the front room with me. She was bawling. The lady gave her a weak smile. Now, Mom says, about these shoes and school clothes. I'm not sure, Miss Rushmore says, that you can get them. There is something wrong in this house that I have not yet put my finger on. But this is what you do. First, you fill out Form 905, which you will get at the Bureau of Family Assistance, room 1205. Then you call the Division of Child Welfare and make an appointment with Mr. Jenkins. He will give you Form 202 to fill out. Then you go to the fifth floor, third corridor on the left. Turn right, go in the second door. You can stand at the first desk and fill out Form 23B, Requisition for Clothing Allowance. You take that to Building 3, Room 508, third floor, second door, fourth desk. And then, Lord, Mom says, by the time we get clothes for these children, they will have outgrown them. I don't make the rules, the lady says. Well, honey, says Mom, I ain't got time to do all that. Not right now. Tonight, I got to go deliver a baby. Then, I got to visit a sick old lady and work on her with some herbs. Then I got to go downtown to the courthouse and get a young man out of jail. He's not a bad boy. He's just been keeping bad company. Then I got to preach a funeral. The lady looked at Mom like she was seeing a spirit risen from the dead. But you can't do those things, she says. I happen to know Mom Luby can. She's a midwife and a herb doctor and an ordained minister of the gospel, besides running a place to eat and drink after hours. And she wouldn't need welfare for us if people would only pay her sometimes. Mom says, "Honey, just come along and watch me." She picked up her old shopping bag full of herbs and stuff. Miss Rushmore picked up her case and followed like somebody in a trance. Mom has that effect on people sometimes. They were gone about 2 hours, and me and Puddin had a good time eating and joking and looking into everybody's card hands. I was surprised to see Mom bring Miss Rushmore straight into the back room when they got back. She sat her down at the table and poured her a drink of corn. To tell the truth, that lady looked like she needed it. Her glasses were crooked, and her shoes were untied, and her hair had come loose from its pins. She looked kind of pretty, but lost. "Mrs. Luby," she said, after a swallow of corn, "you don't need my help." "Ain't it the truth?" says Mom. "I came here to help you solve your problems, but now I don't know where to begin." "What problems?" Mom asked. "You are raising these children in an unhealthy atmosphere. I am not even sure they are yours. And you are practicing law, medicine, and the ministry without a license. I simply cannot understand it." "Can't understand what, honey?" The lady sighed. "How you got more done in 2 hours than I ever get done in 2 years. You folks ought to put me on the payroll," says Mom with a chuckle. "We can't," says Miss Rushmore. "You're not qualified." Luca started laughing, and Bobo joined in. And then we all laughed. Mose and Zerline and Jake and Sissy May and Puddin and me. We laughed so hard we rocked the room and shook the house and laughed that social worker right out the door. "She got a point though," Mom says after we finish laughing. "You need an education to fill out 40 pieces of paper for one pair of shoes." "Never you mind, Chiren. We'll make out fine, like we always done. Cut the cards, Bobo. Walter, deal."